Have you ever wanted to be Kevin Bacon with a Footloose vibe, Jean-Claude Van Damme, or just Ava's new dancing queen? Then this job is for you. Welcome guys, my name is Blue and I will be your intermediate guide in this journey of being a dancer. Dancer is one of the two newest jobs in the Shadowbringers expansion, the third ranged physical DPS and the only support focused job, in my opinion, in the physical department. Dancer focuses on having buffs for a partner and the party alongside with actions that boost healing and movement capabilities with the dash called an Avant. This ability with 3 charges to spend, moving all over the place either to get safe or just to get in a bad spot. Dancer has 3 important parts within the job gauge. Steps. As you input a standard or technical step, your gauge changes to a sequence of steps. These are in a random order each time it is activated. For example, Cascade turns to Envoy, Fountain changes to Intershot, Reverse Cascade turns into Jet, Fountain Fall into Pirouette. The second part of the gauge is Fourfold Feathers. These are activated when you execute a certain weapon skill such as Reverse Cascade and Rising Windmill. Now, Fourfold Feathers can be then consumed to execute Fan Dance, that is required at level 30, and Fan Dance 2. These are attacks that can be used for a single target with Fan Dance 1 and Fan Dance 2 for AoE. The third part of the gauge comes with Esprit. When a player under these effects land a weapon skill or spell, your Spirit gauge will be increased. Then it can be consumed by a weapon skill called Saber Dance. Esprit will be filled with your weapon skills and the weapon skills of your dance partner, as long as you have the effects of a standard step active at the moment. The dancer swiftly sways around RNG procs and 2 basic abilities in order to keep the party cheering out for more. The first important skill is a standard step. This grants you a 15-second window to input your steps only, displayed in your job gauge. When you input out the 2 of the 2 steps correctly, you will be granted standard finish. This delivers an attack to all nearby enemies with a potency varying with the number of successful steps, dealing a full potency of 1000 for the first enemy and 75% less for all the remaining enemies. Granting for 16 seconds a damage bonus of 5% or a 2% depending on the successful steps. As many may agree, dancing is for more than one, so you can designate one dance partner in your party with close position that will be granted that damage buff as well as the Esprit gauge buildup. The standard step should be up at all times with a 60-second duration and a 30-second cooldown. You may lose some damage, but your buff is with your DPS partner that has more attack power usually, unless it's another dancer and you can share that skill. Now, the second skill is Technical Step. Now with the 4 steps you will be granted Technical Finish. This delivers an attack to all nearby enemies with a potency that varies with the number of successful steps, dealing full potency of 1,500 for the first enemy and 75% less for all remaining enemies, granting for a 20-second of damage bonus of 1% to 5% depending on the successful steps. Now having the base buffs that support your party, we can now move to other skills that help in the specific situation with healing. Curing Vaults restores own HP and the HP of all nearby party members, with a Q potency of 200. The additional effect is that party members designated as your dance partner will also heal self and nearby party members. You will try to use this skill when you can stack with your party or your dance partner to mitigate some damage done, but to self is pretty weak. Improvisation continuously increases Esprit gauge while in combat in a 15-second window. The speed at which the gauge increases varies with the number of nearby party members. Furthermore, HP recovery via healing actions for self and nearby party members is increased by 10%. The effects end upon using another action or moving, including facing a different direction. It cancels out attacks upon execution. Finally, we can now see what those flashy feet and hands can do to the rhythmic mobs in raids and dungeons. And as I mentioned before, Dancer is a very proc-based job. His main single target or AoE skill will change to another at 100%, but those two have a 50% chance to proc to another, and I will show that in the next image. For example, single target. Cascade will proc to Fountain. but Cascade can proc with a 50% chance to reverse Cascade, and Fountain can proc to Fountain Fall with a 50% chance. With AoE, it's Windmill that procs to Blade Shower, and Windmill can proc a 50% chance to Rising Windmill, and Blade Shower can proc to Blood Shower with a 50% chance. As you can see, rotations for Dancer are not very specific, but the way you manage your abilities of your gauge is very important to do this job properly or in the most effective way. We talked about Flourish Feather, but what abilities are involved? With each feather you can spend it on two abilities, Fan Dance 1 that delivers an attack with a potency of 150 with additional effect of 50% chance of granting Flourish of Fan Dance. This attack is for a single target, and Fan Dance 2 that delivers an attack with a potency of 100 to all nearby enemies, with an additional effect of 50% chance of getting Flourishing Fan Dance with a 20-second duration. With a 20-second window and Flourishing Fan Dance, we can now use Fan Dance 3. Now, Fan Dance 3 delivers an attack to a target and all nearby enemies with a potency of 200 for the first enemy and 50% less for all remaining enemies. Can only be executed while under the effect of Flourishing Fan Dance, that is the 20-second window. Ranged physical DPS for you to use are Dancing Samba, that it's a 10% shield to all party members in a 15-second window, and Head Gaze, that interrupts a skill to mitigate damage that is in your tank's way. One skill in the kit is Devilment. This ability increases critical hit rate and direct hit rate by 20%. The duration is 20 seconds, and additional effect is a party member designated as your stance partner will also receive the effect of Devilment. One skill that is a damage window is Flourish. This grants you the effects of Flourishing Cascade, Flourishing Fountain, Flourishing Windmill, Flourishing Shower, and Flourishing Fan Dance. Basically, you get every proc in your kit. Now, in this state, check your feathers for you not to waste any proc or oversave any. Now, I can only tell you one optimal way to manage all your steps and skills to have your dance partner and party buffed and have yourself a window of high damage. As my first advice in this, you must have your standard step buff active. And you have to keep in mind that you will need to have it ready to use it again. You will be using Devilment, that gives you the direct hit and critical hit buff. Then will you use Technical Step to get the 5% buff again of damage, and you will give a high potency hit. Then you will use Standard Step to give another high potency hit. Then you will use Saber Dance, that it's a skill that delivers an attack to target and all enemies nearby with a potency of 600 for the first enemy and 50% less for all remaining enemies. This Saber Dance skill uses 50% of your Esprit gauge, so you will have to keep that in mind. Then you will use Flourish, that gives you all the procs, and then you can use Fan Dance 1 or Fan Dance 2 depending on how mobs are you facing, and then use all the procs that come within your rotation. Now, we can see that Dancer is a job that is not that demanding, but not knowing the basis shows off greatly with the success or failure of your party. Why? Because you keep your buffs up with your dance partner having more damage that can be translated to mobs falling faster and your tank not taking that damage. Now, so I hope I can help you with the basis of a dancer, or if you already know how to play with this job, improving your skill rotation or management. Now, for some concrete information, let's wrap this up with pros and cons. Pros. Dancer has big utility to the party in damage and healing departments, as you can buff the healing done by your healers, but in certain situations. Now, another pro is that you have movement. If you're facing Titan in Eden or any other raids, you know that movement is vital or critical, so that an Avant charge can help you get away of a sticky situation. Now, the cons is that Dancer has low damage and it's a proc based in skills and feathers. So you have to pray for the RNG gods to give you some love and have your procs correctly and feathers up so you can do damage or help your party. Now, if you want to be a dancer, I hope this guide serves you well, but I think it's not a job for everyone, as you have to know that you will start sharing or have a dance partner that you will have to maybe have up higher in the department of care, because you will, or I as a dancer, try to keep them high in damage, because they are going to be dealing with the damage I have low. So now you have to keep this in mind when you are trying dancer, and you have to have all your dances up and not only see for yourself but for your party constantly. Finally, we managed to get to the end. This is basically the intermediate guide for dancer. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments below on how we can make this better, or your strategies at the dancer, or your questions related to Final Fantasy that we can help you with. Subscribe and follow us on our social media and Twitch channel. We try to stream every day, and we hope to see you there. Now, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.